Times Square, New York City. Madison Brooks' mom shielded her young sons from the messy, public aftermath of her daughter's alleged rape and death, while wrestling with her own grief, by continuing Maddie's work. "What's helped me is my faith, and knowing I will see her again, one day," Brooks' mom, Ashley Boustert, told us in an exclusive interview. "I remember all the good memories I had for 19 years with Maddie, and that gives me a lot of comfort." The Baton Rouge, Louisiana, case captured national headlines and has played out in the public eye. Within a month of Brooks' death on Jan. 15, when she was hit by a car on a Baton Rouge highway after her alleged rapists dropped her off on the side of the road, lawyers representing the 4 suspects released 2 short videos to local news stations that showed Brooks in a negative light. The first clip was a 4-second video released to local news outlet WAFB9 about 2 weeks after she died and appeared to show Brooks jogging behind her suspected attackers as they left Reggie's Bar in Tigerland, LSU's social hotspot that's been plagued by crime. The second clip, a 29-second video from Video Inside the Car, was obtained by WBRZ2 and aired on Feb. 13 along with an interview with the suspect's lawyers. In the video, Brooks is seen in the backseat and flanked by 2 men. She is heard saying through slurred speech, "I'm sorry that I offended you that bad. Get out. Get out. I'll call an Uber on my own." One of the suspects is seen exiting the back passenger side door of the car, and Brooks was let out of the car on the side of a busy highway and heard calling the driver, "Yay." Her blood alcohol content was 0.319%, which is almost 4 times the legal level to drive, according to authorities. "It hurt," Boustert said. "It looks very poor, especially to release it so shortly after her death. It was very low blow." The videos have not been released in their entirety, but are in the hands of the Baton Rouge District Attorney offices, which secured indictments against 2 of the 4 suspects on the state's most severe sexual assault charge, punishable by a life in prison. "I don't necessarily believe that any of these video clips are a true depiction of what happened that night," Boustert said. "The district attorney has the whole thing, and they wouldn't have gone after upgraded charges unless there was more evidence to do so." Kason Carver, 18, and Desmond Carter, 17, were indicted on 3rd- and 1st-degree rape charges. Despite his age, Carter will be tried as an adult. The other 2 suspects, Everett Lee, 28, and Kyvon Washington, 18, are waiting to be indicted. Currently, Lee is charged with principal to 3rd-degree rape, and Washington was charged with 3rd-degree rape. Lawyers for the suspects maintain their client's innocence and have said the sex was consensual. Carver's lawyer Joe Long told WWL-TV that the charges against his client were unwarranted. Carver declined sex when offered and was called gay when he wouldn't have sex with her, Long told the local news outlet. The DA has seen it fit to pursue charges that could put him in prison for the rest of his life. Facts don't matter when the mob wants their pound of flesh. Carver's indictment was the most recent update in the judicial process, which could potentially drag on for years. To stay healthy, both mentally and physically, Boustert said she tunes out the legal side of her daughter's death and relies on her lawyer, Kerry Miller, who relays important info. "I really don't let myself go there," Boustert said. Instead, She focuses on her family and devotes her time to the Madison Brooks Foundation, which advocates for organ donation, a topic the Brooks avidly support, the safety of young adults and a hardship scholarship in Madison's name. Her best friend, Jenny Riemald, told us that she's proud to watch Baustert put her pain into a purpose to honor Maddie. It keeps her moving one baby step in front of the other. And she also has Maddie's brothers to take care of, so she has no other choice but to continue to be the wonderful mother that she is, Riemald said. The way she's focused on the positive ways to honor her daughter while living her is what has been so inspiring as her friend to see. Baustert said she has been teaching her boys that it is okay to grieve and miss Madison, and there is nothing wrong with enjoying life. I tell them, it's what Maddie would have wanted, Baustert said. Both of her brothers love baseball and play on travel teams. Riemald showed a video of the LSU baseball team signing their jerseys, letting them throw out the first pitch and showing him the locker room. It was best day the boys, ages 8 and 10, have had since their sister died. Brooks was a girly girl with a firecracker flair, said Baustert, who said it was important to continue their family tradition of celebrating Brooks' birthday with a last-minute trip. Previous excursions included skiing in the Rocky Mountains and skydiving over the Grand Canyon with her dad. Can you imagine jumping out of a plane? I couldn't imagine just looking down and having to jump, Baustert said. I asked her if she was scared, and she was like, "Mom, it was the most peaceful experience. I like to say she got a tour of heaven before she reached those gates." That was her tour of her new house. Maddie experienced more in her short 19 years than many of us will ever experience in our lifetimes. She loved trying new things and exploring new places. Baustert, Riemald and Baustert's mom, Mandy LeBlanc, continued their annual tradition and celebrated what would have been Brooks' 20th birthday, with a trip New York City, specifically Times Square, where a billboard of the Madison Brooks Foundation towered above the Big Apple. They spent Monday afternoon with us and talked about Brooks' life and how they're coping with the loss while checking out the billboard. Baustert, in a bright pink dress in honor of Brooks' love for the color, stood a little ahead of her mom and Riemald as she looked up at the Times Square billboard for her daughter. They all watched the 10-second slideshow that started with Brooks' photo under the hashtag Maddie Made Me Smile and the Madison Brooks Foundation website, created in her honor, underneath. I feel she's with me all the time, Baustert said. Now, it's about picking up where Maddie left off. Brooks' family registered a star in her honor. It's located at the very tip of Bull's Horn of the Taurus constellation, which her family said represents her perfectly. She was brave. She was fearless. She was strong, and she stood up for what she believed in. No one could convince her to do or say anything she didn't feel was important, Baustert said. But she loved with everything she had. She treated her friends like her siblings, like they were part of her family. They bought a telescope for her brothers so they can see Brooks' star whenever they want.